Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna take a look at some of the real good strategy games you can easily pick up and play on your Android and iOS devices, or tablets for that matter, today. So without any further ado, let's do this.
Let's do this!
First of all, and only because it's a newcomer, well, technically the latest strategy game I could find that came out to the mobile devices that is legitimately okay, we have something going on here called War Armies, WW2 PvP RTS. Well, what developers of which go by calling the first classic PvP military multiplayer real-time strategy game about World War II for the mobile devices. Now, this is a multiplayer game, so it requires a constant, stable internet connection. The game is actually in its beta, but actively being developed and new content is being added very often. Not to mention, it's free. Coming up behind that, now we have Catalyst Black. First off, just a team-based 10v10 drop in drop out large-scale shooter. A pretty amazing game nonetheless. Seriously, it has a ton of potential as a game. It's pretty fun, addictive, it's got the smooth gameplay and graphics, easy to understand when it comes to actual controls, and well, technically it's a mobile game, but one with a unique twist to just make it stand out from all the competitors out there. It can be played with a joystick, controllers, or even with a mouse and keyboard. Check it out. This game's actually free.
Journey with your clan to new heights. Welcome to Clan Capital.
At number 3, and this is literally just an honorable mention, guys, in case you just came out of a cave or something. Well, Clash of Clans is a free-to-play with over 500 million downloads, a relatively fun game to just go ahead and pick up and play right now. It's a pretty good strategy game that somehow manages to stay fun over the course of the time. I mean, I've been watching my own brother play this one for over 8 years now, haven't even played a dime and still manages to be happy with it. Check it out in case you didn't know. The good thing about this one is that the game actually is not a pay-to-win in any way.
Take down enemy capitals. Deal persistent damage across multiple layered attacks with your clanmates to destroy enemy districts. And get ready to raid together every weekend. Attack enemy capitals district by district and ascend to victory. Earn great rewards to speed up your progress on your capital, home village, and builder base. Team up and take down. Claim your clan capital now. Clash of Clans.
Moving on, we have Kingdom Rush Vengeance. I would have to say one of my favorite tower defense games. Well, technically because I've been a big fan of all the Kingdom Rush games, but I actually think it's pretty safe to say that this is one more great addition with the same level of fun and actual gameplay and content. It's got different new maps, enemies, basically everything. Not to forget, this time not only do you play as a villain, but all the new towers are actually interesting in a lot of ways, and they actually work. You might also want to know you don't really need to pay any extra money in advance to be able to make any progress in this game, so yeah, overall at $5 for the game is well worth the price. At number 5, we've Armor Age World War II tank strategy. So far, one of the good real-time strategies out there. It's technically just another version of World of Tanks, but at the same time introduces a two-player mode, and not to forget, as an addictive as it could be, there's actually room for improvement with this one in overall gameplay. Armor Age's got a single-player campaign, a survival mode, some real fun hooks when it comes to the progress system, and well, let's not forget, the game's also free. Alright, with over 4.8 review scores out of 5 on Google Play, Steam, and the App Store, which is technically perfect 5 out of 5, we have the old Bloons Tower Defense 6, technically one of the oldest, best tower defense games of all time that you'll ever get to play, I can almost guarantee it. However, you might want to consider the game will take you about $5. It could be one of the best $5 you'll ever spend if you're into tower defense games. I'll say this, if you have or haven't ever played a Bloons Tower Defense game, this comes highly recommended, only you might want to consider to have some actual RAM on your cell phones too. Check it out.
Land and people of legendary strength await your reign in the Norselands, the epic new expansion to Kingdom 2 Crowns.
Up next at number 7. First of all, one of my all-time favorites, we have Kingdom 2 Crowns, a side-scrolling pixel art micro-strategy game where you take on the role of a monarch, get to build a kingdom, and eventually get to protect it from some Ghibli-looking things that want your just coins. See, good thing about 2 Crowns, which is a sequel to a game called Kingdom, is that you don't really have to play the game alone. You can play this one solo or with a friend in just classic split screen or multiplayer. It has a brand new campaign mode, a lot of new areas to discover, more mounts and secrets too. All you actually need for this game to feel divine, I would say, is only a headphone on the top. Check it out.
You direct their efforts, and when needed, remind them that failure is not an option. We know our first duty is to build and prepare for the cold days ahead, clearing the land, sowing our fields, raising our homes. And when battle calls, all your countrymen are armed and trained to answer. When our settlements grow strong, our thoughts turn to the sea, the green fields on the other side. As we expand, so too do the tides of war. We do not need the stone walls of the Southerner. Our people form shield walls capable of repelling the strongest new invaders. When inspired, our berserkers know no rival on the field of battle. Rich can be the rewards of rule. Mighty steeds befitting of your success await. And should you prove your wisdom in their tests, the gods will bestow mighty powers to you. Before your might, no enemies shall stand. Become the overlord of legend in Norselands.
Unknown civil servant was made governor of this war-torn region.
Coming up next, Rebel Inc. or Operation actually came our way 3 years ago. It was on both platforms and it's right now one of the most challenging yet satisfying games you can pick up and play on Android devices or iOS. Well, for those of you wondering, this is technically another game from the same folks who brought Plague Inc. earlier, and now with just so much more added to the whole experience, be it the story, the amount of new content, scenarios, campaigns, you name it. Overall, the game is just a great strategy with technically no ad, it is free to play and with a really good replay value.
Hard to push the insurgents back from major population centers. Despite heavy air support and significant reinforcements, they were unable to fully secure the region. Trapped in the mountains and lacking popular support, the insurgents finally agreed to peace negotiations. Leaders from both sides are here today to sign that final peace deal and end the deadly stalemate. Behind me, jubilant crowds fill the street. Something's gone very wrong here. That was a huge explosion. It looks like we're being evacuated.
At number 9, once again with over 1 million downloads so far on the App Store, and actually released over 4 years ago, we have Card Thief Well, first of all, the follow-up to the company's earlier dungeon crawling game Card Brawl, and this time around with the attempt to mix all of that good old classic stealth genre into a solitaire-style card game. The game itself is genuinely just free, so I would say it's at least worth a check out, and in terms of actual gameplay, you see technically here you are a thief trying to sneak around a small map and avoiding being detected, so you can steal gold from your enemies. Check it out. Well, up next, with the price of only 99 cents, we have Mini Metro, which is technically a game about designing a subway map for a growing city. Where, as you can see, you get to draw lines and stuff and get your trains running, open up new stations, and eventually see how long you can actually last. It's a simple concept that makes a great game. This is, I would say, probably the best dollar you will ever spend on a mobile game. It is very fun, addicting. It does take some time to get used to, but pays off in a damn good way too. Check it out. On the other hand, and this is easily one of the best mobile games available now generally, we have the Battle of Polytopia, a turn-based civilization strategy game about controlling the map, fighting enemy tribes, discovering new lands, and then eventually mastering new technologies. See, here we take on the role of a ruler of a tribe, and with the attempt to build a civilization in a turn-based strategy competition with other tribes. A good thing about this one is that it can be played offline, online. It is free, the controls of which and overall gameplay is easy to get the hang of, pretty engaging, fun, and easy to learn like I said, but difficult to master. Check it out. At number 12, see, Fallout Shelter is basically the first free-to-play entry in the old Fallout series that came out to consoles and eventually for mobile devices about 7 years ago. It's a very good game if you're a long-time fan of old Bethesda games, of Fallout games. But you might want to know this is actually a very big change from the classics. It does provide a very different look into the Fallout universe, mainly a management and a life simulation kind of game. And yeah, if you do need something pretty fun to kill about 20 to 40 minutes a day, this is actually a pretty good game. Check it out.
Get your blades ready.
Coming up next, with actually over 50 million downloads on the mobile devices right now, we got once again the one and only Blizzard's card game, Hearthstone. A pretty fun game for being free on its own. It's got the good graphics, sounds, and stays reasonably fresh with the amount of content they come up with now and then. The game has got lots of different modes. It could actually be hard to start. See, Hearthstone was never an easy to pick up and play game in my book. It runs even a little hard, gets kind of buggy at times and frustrating, but if you could, let's say, get past those few things, well, considering you are willing to spend a fair amount of money too, yeah, you're actually gonna be happy with this one. And last but not least, it's the old Shogun Empire Hex Commander. Well, probably one of the better strategy games right now. It's technically Shogun 2 Lite, which is a turn-based and tactical game, but actually works and plays quite fast. For those of you actually familiar, this game comes actually with an improvement upon the mechanics of its predecessor, technically expanding upon the whole strategy experience, be it the heroes, clans, maps, and challenges too. It's a very cool game, works well, not really hard to master either, comes with legit campaign, and last but not least, it is free and with very few ads too.
直ちに進め先にしてやる
Mama said it's getting way too loose in my